Over the past few months on this channel, we've reviewed all kinds of car brands in BeamNG Drive, and if you haven't seen those videos yet, you should definitely check them out after this one. But today, we're focusing on a brand that I personally feel is seriously underrated, Aston Martin. There's just something special about these cars. The mix of luxury, elegance, and raw performance gives them a completely different feeling compared to most other sports cars. And surprisingly, BeamNG Drive actually has some incredibly detailed Aston Martin mods, with amazing sounds, interiors, and driving physics. Let's get started. The first car we're taking a look at is the Aston Martin Vantage, and this mod immediately feels very modern and up-to-date. It comes with a total of 9 different configurations, all paired with automatic transmissions, and of course, every door is fully openable. The interior also looks extremely modern, and we get both pre-facelift and facelift versions, which both keep that classic sleek Aston Martin styling. Sound-wise, this mod is honestly very impressive. The V8 burble sounds really deep and satisfying, and overall the handling feels smooth while still being very fast. One thing that stands out a lot is the sound when shifting in sport mode or using the paddle shifters, because you get those aggressive V8 shift bangs that fit the car perfectly and sound surprisingly good in BeamNG Drive. We also get the more aggressive F1 version with the large spoiler, and especially in this green color, it looks absolutely beautiful while still feeling much more track-focused. On top of that, there are also V12 configurations available, and those sound just as good with a slightly less deep but even more exotic tone, making the car feel even faster overall. The shift pops are still there as well, and especially inside this warehouse area, the sound becomes even better because of the echo. You can definitely slide these cars around too, although I would not really call it drifting, because once the rear steps out, it becomes pretty difficult to control consistently. I also take the Formula One safety car version onto the racetrack, featuring the original design and a fully working light bar, which makes it feel incredibly authentic while driving around the circuit. Next up, we have the Aston Martin DB12, which comes with 8 different configurations. Of course, all doors are fully openable, including the trunk and the hood, and the interior on this one honestly looks like the best out of all the Aston Martins so far. It features that wide center console with a large screen, and especially the configuration with the brown interior stands out as extremely beautiful in my opinion. The sound is also really solid when you set off, and it feels very smooth overall, although I do end up going quite fast at the beginning and, well, that turns into a crash, but the damage physics are actually very well done here. My personal favorite configuration is the green spec with the silver wheels, because the color combination just looks perfect, and the white interior also matches really well with the exterior setup. This car can actually be drifted a bit better than expected, even if it does not look like it at first, and once you equip drift steering on the convertible version, it becomes very easy to just go around in circles in a roundabout. It is honestly as easy as it looks, and since I usually love drifting in these videos, this car definitely stands out for me as well. After that, since I am already sliding onto the highway, I also want to see how it performs in acceleration. And it does come with launch control, although I would only recommend using it with traction control on, because otherwise it instantly loses grip. Overall, it is quite fast, not too extreme but also not slow, and you do need to be careful when accelerating hard, because it can still get a bit slippery, but it remains very controllable as you can see. Next up, for everyone who does not really enjoy drifting or simply prefers more traction, is the Aston Martin Valhalla, which comes in 6 different configurations, although these mainly differ in colors and wheels rather than body kits. Of course, all doors are fully openable, including the iconic butterfly doors, and the interior is heavily focused on racing, with a very track-oriented steering wheel, digital dashboards, and lots of exposed carbon fiber, making it feel like a true race car. You can also deactivate the electric motor by pressing T on the keyboard, although the difference is not really that dramatic in overall driving feel. As soon as I start driving, you immediately notice how much grip this car has, and the adjustable rear wing also changes depending on the driving mode, giving it a lot of downforce and stability at higher speeds and through fast corners. The traction is really what defines this car, because even in slower corners, you can still lose a bit of grip. But with traction control enabled, it becomes extremely hard to actually lose control. I do manage to slide off the line at one point, but I catch it pretty well without causing much damage to the car. Through the tuning menu, you can also adjust power and rev limits, which I tested here just to see how much performance you can actually extract. Because in stock form, the car already has so much grip and control that it honestly feels like it could handle even more power. Even at maximum performance and higher revs, it remains incredibly fun and still very easy to control. And overall, this is without a doubt the best car in this video when it comes to racing and high-speed driving on track. Next up, we switch to something completely different again. SUVs, and specifically the Aston Martin DBX, which comes in 9 different configurations. Of course, all doors are fully openable, including the hood and trunk. And just like the other Aston Martins, the interior feels very detailed and luxurious. For this one, I start with a Mansory configuration because it sounds much more aggressive and really gives the SUV a more brutal character when pulling out of the driveway. You immediately notice the heavy weight of the vehicle since it is a full-size SUV. But at the same time, it still has a lot of power, which keeps it surprisingly quick in a straight line. The main challenge comes in corners, where you really have to manage the traction carefully, because it does not feel as stable as the sports cars from earlier in the video. Even off-road, you can tell that this is not a dedicated off-road machine, but more of a luxury SUV built for asphalt and city driving. Although it can still climb steeper hills thanks to the all-wheel drive and handle light terrain if you control the sliding properly. Personally though, I enjoy it most when driving it fast on the road, especially pushing it through quick corners and feeling it reach the limit, where you can really notice the suspension working and the weight shifting through the chassis. Next up, we have a very stylish car again. And even though all Aston Martins are obviously stylish, this one stands out even more for me personally, the Aston Martin DBS, and especially one specific configuration which I will show you in a moment. Unfortunately, you cannot open the doors on this mod, but instead it comes with a total of 12 different configurations, and the sound is also really solid. I did go a bit too fast here at the start, so I end up crashing almost immediately, but that also shows that the crash physics are still quite decent. What I really like about this configuration is the black roof combined with the yellow body, even though it is quite a bold color choice, especially with the interior as well. The car is quite long with a very large wheelbase, but that actually makes it easier to drift, making it one of the only cars in this video that can genuinely be drifted properly. That is also one of the reasons why I enjoy driving it so much, and even though the mod is a bit older and I have used it quite often before, it still does not really feel outdated, apart from the fact that the doors are not openable. With this configuration, we now do a speed test, which is also my favorite setup, featuring a very unique color that looks almost black but actually has a slight red tone, and it is also extremely fast. I do push it a bit too hard on the highway and miss the corner, but we continue right away and already reach around 340 kilometers per hour, managing to brake just in time before the next turn. So overall, it is a very fast car, but there is definitely more left in it beyond 340 kilometers per hour. I just did not want to end up in a wall again. In general though, this is more of a brand focused on elegance, luxury, and cruising rather than pure racing performance, almost similar to Bentley, but the sound of these mods, especially the V8 sound, is something I really enjoy. Let me know in the comments which mod was your favorite from this video and what kind of video you want to see next. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and I will see you in the next one.